Oh, welcome back. We're now on weeks number 5 and 6. So let's go ahead and get started with the sharing. All right. So by now you know where to find the information. So we're on the introduction to weeks 5 and 6. Okay, so again, you're going to have a lot of information here that helps you uh, to navigate this part. Required reading is going to be number 3, which is multiple means of engagement in elementary social studies. So your discussion thread number 3, your response will be based on the following journal article that we just mentioned. Reflect on the reasons why the authors chose UDL for student engagement in the classroom. Then answer the following. What key idea will you take away from this article for your methodology chapter? So please share with us how this idea relates to your own educational experiences. Okay, so please, as you discuss this, give us the definition, what you think UDL stands for. It's in the article, so that's a hint to you. All right, then assignment number 3, you will create a research methodology. For example, this will be like a blueprint of how your proposed study will be carried out in a TK through 12 classroom with students who have special needs. Again, there's a template paper in Word with the explanations posted below that will help you to be able to design your assignment 3 in the course resources. So some of the ideas that you're going to have are your introduction, your hypothesis. It says copy this from chapter 1. The scope and limitations of the study. Again, you can copy this from chapter 1. Select and describe your own tools. Ideas may include tally sheets, observation forms, surveys, questionnaires, pre and post tests, etc. Okay, you're going to make that determination. You have noticed that in your collection of peer-reviewed articles, that these different tools have already been described in some of those articles. So those articles should have prepped you for being able to do that with this paper. All right, then it says choose a research design from what you've learned in SPD 695. Please explain why you selected it. Okay, the procedure of the study. You're going to write this section as a step-by-step process. For example, it's going to be like a roadmap so that someone else can replicate your study. So it's like writing the steps to a lesson plan. Same thing. So the collection and analysis of data. Discuss your plan. How are you going to collect your data? Identify a statistical tool, and then describe how you're going to analyze that data. So again, in your research of journal articles, you've seen how some of the researchers have described how they use that research. How do they manipulate that data? Okay, then you also have your ethical considerations. Now this you need to really be careful about. Okay, the 3 principles that are included in the Belmont report, for example, about beneficence, respect for persons, and justice. Okay, these have to apply to your proposed study. Okay, and there's reasons given in that report, because back in World War II, certain countries used some methods for collecting data which were completely unethical, caused a tremendous amount of suffering and even death for people. So there are certain laws that are involved now, so that when we do research with human subjects, that we have to follow. So you need to be ready to talk about the 3 principles of the Belmont report. Now, when you select where you're going to get your subjects, please keep this Belmont report in mind. You do not want to create a situation that could possibly cause harm to your students, to your subjects. So you're going to need to think about that. You're going to need to think of how you're going to protect them. Okay? So then you'll have your summary. Now, remember that in protecting your students, you don't want to make it easy to identify those students. There are any number of situations that can cause harm. Sometimes the harm is very, very bad. Other times it's very minimal. But you should not be making that determination whether it's harmful or not. You need to follow certain rules, certain principles. So you have your subject headings here. So if we go to the actual template, let's see how we can do that. So let me get a new share. And here it is. All right, so again, we have our page number. We have our title here. Have your name as the student, then Department of Special Education, National University, then SPD 696, capstone project, put your professor's name, put the date that you're submitting this paper. Okay, then you have your abstract. The abstract is not to be indented, and it starts with these 4 words. This proposed study will, and then go ahead and tell us what it's going to be. Okay, then you have your methodology starting on page 3. So go ahead and copy, or you actually just use this template. You'll eliminate some of these items here. For example, introduction. This paragraph sets the stage for the following sections. Okay, and then your hypothesis, all of these things that we just talked about just a couple minutes ago. And then your references. Okay, very simple. Be sure to proofread and be sure to follow the rubric. Remember that the rubric is not going to be exactly the same for each of these assignments, because each of these assignments is doing something a little bit different than the previous assignment. Okay. So that pretty much covers the assignment that you'll be doing in the 3rd set of weeks. So if you have any questions, feel free to contact me. Go ahead and ask me. I'll be more than happy to help you out with this. But please remember to follow the instructions carefully and also follow the rubric, because that's what is going to determine what your grade is. So if you want a good grade, then follow that rubric. You'll do a good job. All right, so I wish you well for this section of the course, and please enjoy.